want to tell you the story about a special project that we worked on here in the manufacturing department.
Well, I thought it was actually hard when you asked that 10% improvement, and I went through a lot and I struggled. That's when I asked for help. That's where we struggle the most, and it's the bottlenecks. A lot of parts that we make is actually in that small part cell, and we want to concentrate on that.
The small part cell consists of two CNC centers, both equipped with live tooling, to manufacture small parts and internal parts for Cougar's tools.
To clearly identify where the issues and problems are in this cell, we created a value stream map. A value stream map can help us identify problems within the process, and as we narrow down and analyze each step, we can then identify specific problems and spend the necessary time to do root cause analysis on those problems.
Most of the non-value added time occurs in the changeover between jobs. This includes tooling changes and jaw changes.
Most of the experience that we encountered were more so wastes of motion. A set of jaws that you might use could be required for the very next job, sort of thing. I also found that there are over-processing in that same regard, that tooling might also be required for the same job, though we might have just changed it out for something more relevant to the job at hand. It could be used for the very next job, and we just don't know. We kind of fail on the job planning process of things. Well, for this machine over here, fortunately we had already implemented a previous solution for our jaws. However, this machine on this side, there was no implementation, so it was a real hassle. It was on one shelf. They were buried 4 layers deep. The jaws are quite heavy, so it was a trial every time. The tooling was pretty much the same thing. Sometimes you might even find that most of the tool is in fact removed and replaced with a different tool, and sometimes only a couple of them will remain in place. Actually, what we call the run time was relatively short. A lot of the times our time was spent doing setups and teardowns and planning for the next job and finding tooling and things like that.
The first step was to reorganize the area. The chuck jaw sizes were documented, and the jaws were engraved so they could be properly identified. A chart of jaw sizes was created for easy reference. A new bench was installed into the area with a shelf where the soft jaws could be stored and labeled. This reduces the time spent searching. The boring bars were moved to a central location where they can be easily accessed by both machines. They were labeled with their correct sizes. The sleeves were put into an error-proofed holder so that they also can be easily accessed by both machines. The final step to reorganizing this area was to install shadow boards, one for the new bench and one for the tapping station. This enables workers to more readily find the tools they need.
Describe how you organized work orders for this cell before the improvement.
And I just go through the list and I just skip them randomly. Sometimes I just don't have enough time to actually think about what to put, what to go on here. So I just randomly just set it to work on the cell.
In order to simplify and improve the work scheduling process, a spreadsheet was created. It allows work order numbers to be entered with their corresponding part number, which can then be selected and pasted into a sheet where they can be sorted based on their machining processes. This allows orders with similar tooling setups to be scheduled together, reducing the overall setup times.
So these are the work order. I'm gonna go down to a small parts cell and write them in order, and they'll start doing step by step.
On average, 42 and a half hours are applied to each work order that is processed through this cell. %20 of that time is spent setting up. And although setup is necessary, it adds no value to the parts that are being produced.
By making it easier for the machinist to find all necessary tooling and chuck jaws, and by grouping work orders with similar operations together, we will cut our setup time in half, thereby achieving our 10% improvement. Thank you for watching another episode of Continuous Improvement Journal. Keep thinking lean.